Hello, I'm Leona Dooley, and this is Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme in the kitchen. And today, instead of actually starting the program out in the kitchen, we're in the car because I'm waiting for my grocery pickup. So it's going to be a wild afternoon because I had to get a late pickup time, and we're going to get the kitchen all cleaned up and everything ready. We're going to get the groceries picked up as fast as we can and get those put away, get down to business with grocery, and just enjoy our time together. Well, this is 1 month of groceries. Whew. Have to get it while we can. And I didn't overbuy anything. So, let's get home. Well, I've gotten everything into the pantry, and it's not too terribly bad because most of what I purchased went in the freezer. You know, the freezer that we talked about the last time that I said I probably wouldn't let you see it. Well, I did a little bit of straightening, so I'll show you where I am. Well, we're out in the garage, and this is the freezer, and as you can see, it is packed. I caught Kroger's sale on 10 for 10 for a freezer, vegetables and items. I was able to get meat and just kind of made sure I had those things I needed in my freezer. Doesn't necessarily look pretty, but you know what? By the end of the month, we'll be able to see daylight. So, there it is, guys. These 3 bags of rice were in the freezer because that's where I keep it. But you know what? As you can see, there was no room for it. So now I have to find another way and another place to store it. So I'll have to work on that. I'm going to take a deep breath because at this point we are going to have breakfast for dinner. I'm exhausted. I don't feel like fooling with Chinese, and I really wasn't so sure about Chinese anyway. So we're gonna have some bologna. The big guy picked up some Vidalia onions, which we absolutely love for the summer. So I'm getting bologna for each of us. As you can see, I've sliced that Vidalia onion, and I sliced it pretty thick. Now I've got a little drizzle of grapeseed oil and a pat of butter that's in the pan, and I'm going to give that time to just kind of melt and for the two of them to come together. And then we're going to put in the onions. So you can see I've turned up the heat enough and the pan's starting to get hot. You know, when you have one of those days when you've had a lot going on, the last thing you want to do is to cook something really major. And so getting everything put away, I did not want to have to pull out everything again. So I thought, this is great. We love breakfast, so why not have it for dinner? And he was good with it, so me too. So let's get these onions in the pan. So you can see I'm turning up the oven, the stove a little bit. I'm also turning the oven on because he wants some, he loves tater tots. He and the grandkids, oh my gosh, they go through a ton of tater tots. So we're going to have tater tots on the side. But anyway, I'm taking the onions apart, and you notice that I left them pretty large. The reason for doing that is because I want them hot, but I don't want them to cook away. So they're going to be able to hold a bit of their integrity. And we're just going to let those onions get clear. And once they get clear, I'm actually going to take them out of the pan. And I'll mix a little bit with the bologna, and I'm going to slice my bologna and put it in strips. It's easy to handle, and then we'll put everything together. So there we go. We've got the onions in the pan, and let's see, we need some seasoning, because onions, as good as they are, Vidalias are wonderful, and they're just around during the summer when it's nice and warm. So we have to eat as many Vidalia onions as we can during the summer. So I'm going to get some seasoning. We're going to need some salt, some pepper. We may even throw a little bit of house seasoning on these onions, but they are going to be delicious. So let's get that going. All right, we're sprinkling a little bit of house seasoning, just a little, just enough to give it some flavor. I'm going to even add a little bit of salt and pepper and thyme, so that those onions will be delicious. Of course, actually, they would have been delicious all by themselves, but we always have to kick things up. Now let's get that bologna into the skillet. And you're going to think, wonder why she did this. Well, the reason is I want the flavor of the bologna to also be a part of the onions. So I'm laying the bologna on top, and I'm going to let that sizzle there for probably about 3 minutes. And then I'm going to actually pull the onions out and put them on another plate. So let's kind of get those mixed up, and they'll be ready to go. There we go. Get everybody happy. And what I'm doing is that I'm trying to get the onions on top, and I'm going to take the bologna down to the bottom of the pan. So there we go. We're getting those onions all together and ready to transfer to a dish. So we're playing around. We're playing around. I'm just kind of playing around, having a good time in the kitchen. It gives me a chance to catch a breath. It gives me a chance to talk to you. And it's fun. It's fun. You get to see what I'm doing, because, you know, every night in the kitchen is always a fun night, and especially when you're right here with me. So let's get that bologna going. I am continuing to fish out the onion. You'll see the onion held its shape. It's not falling apart. And I'm going to let the bologna cook and let it get nice and toasty. There we go. So this time I'm flipping it over, so I'm putting the onions on top of the bologna. Now, over in the Cuisinart air fryer, I've added in 2 biscuits that I've cut in half, put some butter on, and I'm going to let those get toasty. You see, I've grabbed the pepper, and we're going to have to do a little shake on the onions and the bologna. And because the bologna is pretty salty, I don't need to add any salt. So there they are. They turn out so pretty, and they're done in probably about 3 minutes. It's actually maybe even a second or 2 less, but there they are. Now, I had put the potatoes down in the oven, but they were taking too long, so I switched the biscuits out. I'm going to put the tater tots in the air fryer. I don't know what I was thinking. Don't ask me. I'm tired. And so I'm taking those out, putting them in. I'm going to put them in for about 3 minutes because they're done, but it's just that I want them crispier. So I'm throwing those in, and when they are finished, dinner is going to be ready. So we are almost ready to go, guys. I can't wait. This is going to be so good. And you're going to be amazed because this air fryer makes the prettiest tater tots. So let's just get everything ready and make sure I have everything ready in the pan. I did a quick job with the foil on that bottom pan. I just slid it on there. I didn't worry about securing it. I popped that basket on there and good to go. So there we go. We got everything in there. I'm going to get my mitt so I can push it in because everything's hot. And there we go. So in about 3 minutes, we're going to be ready to serve dinner. Now, look at that bologna. I love when it gets those little brown, crispy edges. I'm going to try to bring you in a little closer so you can see. See how those edges get brown and crispy? Oh my goodness, they're delicious. So I'm getting those out of the skillet, and that tells you dinner time is coming, guys. It's right around the corner. And I tell you what, try it. You'll like it. Because now they even have bologna that they have all beef. They have a mixture. They even have, I think I've even seen a chicken bologna. So they've got a variety. Now, let's look inside the Cuisinart. It's on, it's doing its thing, and we're just waiting for it to finish up. Now, I'm going to get 2 eggs because I thought, well, you know, it's breakfast, we need eggs. But we have a little discrepancy because I like my eggs to be sunny side up. The big guy likes his egg well cooked. So let me take those little tater tots out. I don't want them to get too burned or too brown. Ooh, they're hot, they're hot, they're hot. Ugh. Let me taste it. Oh, yummy, nice and warm. Okay, 1 egg in. Now I'm going to turn around so you can see it. I have the heat on. I do not have it on high. And I have it about on medium because you don't want the egg to get tough. If you cook it too fast, it's going to get tough. So I'm just giving it a chance to come to let it heat itself up and give it time. Be patient with it. Now there's my egg over there. Now you'll see that I'm going to have to flip his over, but not without seasoning. So this is where we can add a little salt. I'm going to put in some pepper, already done. So once we get those plates, we don't have to add any salt or pepper. If you do a good job right here in the kitchen, no one has to pick up the salt and pepper shaker. Oh, aren't they golden? They're beautiful. And I'm going to get a plate because everything is hot. The eggs are ready. Oh, look, I've got my bologna and onions. I've got my biscuit right there. He's ready to go. This is the big guy's plate. So he gets all the potatoes because he's really the one that wanted them. And I'm going to take his egg and put it on that biscuit that I left open. There we go. Pull up. Come and get it. All right. That's going to be so good. Delicious, guys. Absolutely delicious. Now, here's my plate, and I needed a little jelly. And so, therefore, I'm going to get my egg, and see my egg is sunny side up. And I can have a few little tater tots, right? Okay, I did the cooking, and after all, I had to straighten out the freezer. So I used a lot of energy. I need my tater tots. Okay, so I'm going to get a few. I may not eat all of them. I may put a few on his plate. But anyway, we're good to go. And dinner is ready. Woohoo! Hey guys, don't forget, shine your light. I hope you have had a wonderful time in the kitchen, and I hope that you will continue to be a part of the Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme family. I have certainly enjoyed your presence.